I got book mail. The power went out. I usually do not trash things on my channel, but I am just so honestly disgusted by this that I need to talk about it. Hello and welcome to a new reading vlog. It feels like it's been a while since I've recorded a reading vlog. These are my favorite types of videos to make, so I'm very excited for this one. In my last reading vlog, I talked about how I wasn't going to buy any new books until I finished my TBR, and I have been chugging away at that said TBR. And the last two things I need to read on my TBR are volumes 5 and 6 of Twilight Princess. And after that, my TBR is empty once again, at least my physical TBR, because I do have a digital TBR. Speaking of my digital TBR, I was really tired of just having a plain black case for my Kindle, so I decided to put some stickers on it. I just kept it simple in the front with a sticker of Luffy and Chopper, and in the back I really went ham. In the back, I covered it with a bunch of stickers from Heaven Official's Blessing. I really love how it turned out, and it makes me more excited about just grabbing my Kindle. It's the little things, guys. And I also recently purchased Butter, which is a novel about food and murder, and so many people have been talking about it, and I've just been really curious. And there's a huge queue for this book at my library, and I found it only for $1.99 on the ebook shop, so I went ahead and purchased it. And I'm going to definitely read this after I get through my physical TBR. So without further delay, let's get to reading. Hello, it's a new day and I successfully conquered my TBR. My physical TBR is no more. So yes, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I'm really happy that I am now here at this moment where I don't have a large physical TBR, in my opinion. I understand that my physical TBR wasn't all that crazy, but for me, it was equivalent to a mountain. So as you know, the last thing that I read that was on my physical TBR was Twilight Princess volumes 5 and 6, and this series is honestly really surprising. I don't have the highest expectations when it comes to manga adaptations of video games, but the art in this is just impeccable and the storytelling is also very well paced and it's just a blast to read. So I really enjoyed. That was my cat's tail just now that you saw. But anyways, I really enjoyed this. This was really good. And another fun, exciting thing that I want to talk about is that I actually got, I can't even pick it up. I got book mail, but there's more packages, not just this. I also received a package from today's sponsor, Sakura-Co. Sakura-Co is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local Japanese snack makers. Each box comes with 20 traditional and authentic Japanese snacks, including teas and a special piece of tableware. As a Japanese snack enthusiast, I've tried various subscription boxes, but Sakura-Co stands out for its unmatched quality and value. I can't help but get excited each time a new monthly box gets delivered to my door. This month's theme is Islands of Okinawa. Sakura-Co invites you to traverse Okinawa's sun-soaked islands and savor the rich and authentic delicacies found in the region. Enjoy a taste of Japan's tropical paradise in this month's box. Each box includes a booklet that shares more information on each snack, allergen information, and Japanese culture. I love experiencing each theme Sakura curates. I get to learn more about a region through its delicious snacks and teas. I thoroughly enjoyed all of these snacks, including the salt caramel sable, which was a perfect balance of salty and sweet. I really enjoyed the Kokuto Castella cakes. They had a lovely molasses brown sugar flavor, and the sweet potato chinsuko was nice and crispy and had a delicious sweet potato flavor, which I really enjoyed. For me, this waffle cookie really stole the show. You could really taste the high quality of the butter that was used, and the vanilla flavor was perfect, and the sweetness was balanced well with saltiness. It was delightful. What makes Sakura truly wonderful is its commitment to supporting local snack makers, who work hard to preserve traditional techniques and authentic flavors. The booklet provided shares their stories, which makes each bite feel all the more special. I love knowing where my snacks are coming from, and the hands behind them. Each box comes with a tableware item, and this month's tableware item is the Kingyo Mino Ware plate. Each box is so well curated, the provided tea matches perfectly with all of the snacks provided. Pair these treats with the refreshing Okinawa Sanpin tea for the perfect tasting experience. You basically get a Japanese tea time set mailed to your door directly for you to enjoy with friends or loved ones. It is such a fun experience, and it's the best way to snack. If you would like your own Sakura box, you can get $5 off your first box using the link in the description along with my coupon code MANGACAPTOR. Treat yourself to a taste of Japan from the comfort of your own home. Thank you so much to Sakura for sponsoring this video, and now let's get into these other packages. Okay, now let's go ahead and open up this book mail. I'm gonna start with the larger package. This is not from Amazon. The seller just recycled this box. This is actually some used manga, and I'm really excited to open it up, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, we're in. Let's do a little bit of ASMR. Throwback to when my channel was an ASMR channel. Yes, I originally thought that this channel was only going to be ASMR unboxings of manga, but turns out I'm a chatterbox, and I like to talk to you guys, so I gave up on that idea. In here I have some volumes from Fumi Yoshinaga. These are in Japanese. So you may have seen my small Japanese manga collection. I shared it in one of my latest productive vlogs, and I just wanted to add more to that collection. So what really called me to these volumes that were being sold were these covers of Flower of Life. So the Flower of Life does have an English translation, but these covers are just so much more, how do you say, aesthetically pleasing, at least to me. I just really wanted to have them in my collection. I love how small they are compared to a English print. Like, I just love the tiny Japanese versions. So Flower of Life, I don't know that much about this series. I believe it's a slice of life story about a kid who had leukemia and is now returning to school, and it's kind of about his friendships, and I think there's also like a manga club or something in this series. But yeah, I just really enjoy Japanese volumes in general because they come with these really nice dust jackets that I wish English versions came with. It just makes the book feel so high quality. And another volume in this package is All My Darling Daughters, and I have never read this. This also has an English translation, but I just feel like the Japanese version is just so stunning, and I wanted to have it in my collection. And it also comes with some colored pages at the front of the book. I don't know that much about this one-shot. I do know that the stories are pretty intense. I think they involve things like abusive relationships, so it's a pretty heavy read, and I definitely plan on picking this up digitally in English. So yeah, I'm happy to have this version of All My Darling Daughters. It's very beautiful. And the last volume I have in this package is called Not Love, But Delicious Foods Make Me So Happy. Here is the dust jacket. This is like a larger size, and once again, again, this is another like one shot that I don't really know much about. I just know that it's about food. Like I said, just picked it up because it's Fumi Yoshinaga and I just want to have more of her works in my collection, whether they be in English or Japanese or even Spanish if I come across a Spanish volume of her works. So that is everything I got in the first package. I'm very happy with all of these used Japanese volumes. And now let's get into the next package. So I'm very excited about this one because this is a pre-order that I have been just so eager to read, and it finally arrived today. I think I'm gonna just honestly read this right after I open it up. So let's go ahead and open it. I'm actually pretty terrible with these packages. Like, it never works for me. I pull the tab and never works. And so the volume in here is volume 2 of Bless. Within the first volume, it really hooked me. It made me care so much about the characters, and it's like, dude, I don't even know them yet. I don't really even know that much about them, but I am so invested in this story. This series is about a teenager who is pursuing his dream of doing makeup. He wants to be a makeup artist. He's always been like the model, and he doesn't want to do that anymore. He'd rather spend his time learning how to use makeup professionally and making other people beautiful. It's what he loves to do. And he partners up with a classmate who is considered, I think, shy. I just really enjoy them together. Currently they are friends. I don't know if there's going to be a romance in this at all. There might be, there might not be, but either way, I think the story is going in a great direction. I don't need it to be romance, but hey, if it becomes a romance, I will be here for it as well. So yeah, all around, very excited about this, and I'm gonna read it right now. So I'll see you guys in the next clip. The power went out. Okay, so the power went out, and I think this is the perfect opportunity to read on my Kindle since there's no light, so let's do that. Hello, lovely reader friends. It is the following day, and I have quite a bit of reading updates to share with you all. I've been reading a good amount of things, and I've enjoyed a lot of them. But there is one thing, a pebble in my shoe if you must, and that is Just Like Mona Lisa. Just Like Mona Lisa is a manga title that I mentioned videos ago, and I was really excited about it, and honestly, I regret ever mentioning it on my channel. I regret ever talking about it wishfully/hopefully, because this is garbage. I usually do not trash things on my channel. I like to be very positive, happy, focus on the things that I enjoyed, and share that with all of you. But I am just so honestly disgusted by this that I need to talk about it. Just Like Mona Lisa is genderqueer bait. 100%. I was really excited about this initially because it seemed like the main character was this non-binary person, and that really interested me because I'm non-binary and there's not a whole lot of non-binary representation in media in general. So whenever something is revealed to have a main character that is such, I get excited. I can't help it. But like I said, this is bait. So in the story, we are following our main character Hinase, who is this sexless, genderless person. In this world, people are born without sex and therefore don't have a gender assigned to them at birth. And most kids, around the time they turn 12, their body naturally shifts into whatever gender they want. So say there's a child that identifies as a girl, their body will slowly start to take on female characteristics and they will become a cisgendered girl. But Hinase has not changed. They have not taken on any female characteristics or male characteristics that are very distinctive, and they're pretty content that way. They go by they, them at school. They're very fluid. They spend one semester on the girls' team, one semester on the boys' team when it comes to physical education. They seem very comfortable with their body and the way that people see them. And I was honestly enjoying it a few pages in because I was like, cool, we have this character that is just comfortable in their skin, comfortable with who they are. Well, it honestly doesn't matter, and it sucks to say that. This character is very clearly genderqueer and also asexual, but the story and the author and everyone involved in this does not care at all. This character is disrespected by everyone. They have a best friend that's a boy and a best friend that's a girl, and it turns out that both like them. So the boy confesses to Hinase and the girl confesses to Hinase as well. And they both have this really dumb proposal. Basically, the boy wants Hinase to become a girl so they can go out and be in a heterosexual relationship. And the girl wants Hinase to turn into a boy so they can be in a heterosexual relationship. They think that by admitting their feelings to Hinase that somehow they're going to create this chain reaction where Hinase will start to develop sex characteristics of a female or a male and identify as a man or a woman. And it's really dumb because, as we all know, your sexuality does not influence your gender. It does not have anything to do with it. So I was already shaking my head at this point. So you can see how this volume was very upsetting. And I want to talk more about it, more about why it was super upsetting, but then we're gonna get into spoiler territory. And hey, I understand if you want to read this, you can read it. I'm not telling you not to. So if you don't want to get spoiled at all, go ahead and skip to the timestamp on the screen now before I just completely divulge everything. Okay, so now that those people are gone, this conversation is going to get a little bit more serious because this, in my opinion, is a pretty harmful series. Like I already said, Hinase is disrespected by their friends, but Hinase is also disrespected by their doctor. Their doctor leaks information about their hormones to people that don't need to know. As we know, doctors aren't allowed to disclose medical information, so that's interesting. And this character seems to be asexual or aromantic. They've never had any interest in being with anyone romantically or anything like that, but their doctor even pressures them to just give into it, to just feel it out, you know? Like if your friends have crushes on you, just see what happens. And that was so disrespectful. Now, not only is Hinase not being heard in terms of gender, but also in terms of sexuality or romantic interest. But where this takes an extremely dark turn, in my opinion, is the plot twist. Because, you know, everything has to have a plot twist to be interesting. It is revealed that if you are someone in this world who doesn't choose to be a cisgender boy or a cisgender girl, by the time you're 20, you will die. Period. And I just think it's so strange that in this book that seems to be all about breaking gender norms or breaking society's view on gender, all it is that you have to choose when you're older. You choose boy or girl, and there's no other option. There's no variance. There's nothing. And that bothers me a lot because we're gonna get serious, okay? Just stick with me. In this world, people who are genderqueer, people who aren't cisgender, they don't necessarily get treated the best. They face a lot of harassment. There has been hate crimes committed against people who are not cisgender. And you can say that they don't have the same starting point as some other people do. And sometimes, unfortunately, these people don't live long, healthy lives. They would rather not see the next day. Let's say it like that. I just think it's very insensitive that in this book, death is used as a plot twist. And at the end of this book, when you finish this volume and the author says, "Thanks so much for buying this," they admit that they wanted to just write a love triangle story, but it seems like their editor thought that that wasn't super interesting. A love triangle story has been done time and time again, so you have to add in some spice somewhere. And they decided, why don't we bring in gender? Why don't we fool our readers into thinking that this is about a non-binary person, about someone who has freedom to choose who they want to be? Let's pretend that it's about that, because that's gonna get interest. That's gonna get people talking if you try to do something experimental with gender. I just really wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to remove attention from it, because I brought attention to this in a previous video, and I made it seem like it was gonna be something interesting, because I genuinely thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be something that would be good to read for those who are questioning their gender or are non-binary, but honestly, it is not for us. It's not for the genderqueer folk. Instead, it just uses genderqueer coded things to interest people, and then it just pulls the rug out underneath. But enough of that. I want to talk about things that I actually really enjoyed. Something that is not queer baiting, something that is actually very sweet and features queer characters, is our Lonely Planet Travel Guide Volume 5. I absolutely enjoyed it. This just makes me feel giddy and happy. I love seeing our main characters reach new levels of intimacy in their relationship, new levels of trust and communication. It's very rewarding. The story of this is very simple. It's about this gay couple that decide to travel the world and kind of see, how strong their relationship is. And if they're able to travel the world successfully and still be together and still love each other ferociously, then they should get married because they're ready. So yeah, this is just a very cute, sweet story. And also there's lesbians in this and trans people, just all sorts of beautiful people. And I love it. I love it so much. All right. And another thing that I enjoyed was Volume 2 of Bless. I love this. I love that people just wear what they want. Like, there are characters that are boys, girls, and they're wearing whatever they want. There are boys in heels and they look amazing. There are people in just really cool outfits and they look amazing. Everyone is just expressing themselves and being creative. I'm loving this so much. The art is great and I just can't wait to see where our characters go. And I actually just got this in the mail. Sorry, I didn't film an unboxing for it, but I figured it wouldn't be that interesting because it was just in like a bag. But I got a physical copy of A Lonely Castle in the Mirror, and this is the UK version, which in my opinion is much prettier than the US version. I've talked about this before. I read this on my Kindle. It was actually the first book that I finished in 2024. Fun fact, I was reading it on New Year's Eve, and then I finished it like at 1 a.m. and I was in tears, and I was like, this is such a great way to bring in the new year. It's honestly one of my favorite books of all time. I'm excited to reread this and annotate it. I had to get a physical version of it, and I'm so happy with it. And then another thing that I've been reading on my Kindle, which I have yassified, I've been reading Butter. This is about our main character who has an unhealthy relationship with their job. They don't have a good work-life balance. They don't cook for themselves at all because they just don't have the time. But unfortunately, despite all of their hard work, they haven't really raised the ranks. I don't know how to say that. You know what I mean though. And one day her best friend gives her some advice. Our main character is trying to get an interview with a criminal who is very popular at the moment. And she is someone who has killed multiple men who were potentially going to marry her. It is suspected that the way she did this is by poisoning these men, that she would entice them with really delicious home-cooked meals, poison them, and then, get the job done. And our main character really wants to get an interview with them because that would do really well on the newspaper. I think she works for a newspaper. She works for the news in some way, shape, or form. But anyways, her best friend tells her, hey, why don't you just ask her for a recipe? She used to run a food blog. It seemed like she wrote a lot of bougie recipes, and maybe the way to her heart is through her recipes. So our main protagonist goes ahead and does this, and she starts to discover that she is kind of charmed almost by this criminal, and that she relates to this criminal more than she is comfortable with. I love the way that it's written. It is perfectly detailed. I love how it stretches out moments, how it describes things, especially when it comes to the food, when it talks about the sensation of eating warm rice with cold butter. It is oof. But yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. I will say, trigger warning, there are instances of fat phobia in this that can be pretty triggering. Definitely look into the triggers before reading this in case you're interested. I'll put them on screen in case there are any more that I have missed. But yeah, not the best segue, but that concludes my reading vlog. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. I love making these types of videos for you guys because I just love talking about what I read and sharing my thoughts. I will say though, let's have a little heart-to-heart. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break, so you might not see me that much this August. There will be videos in August, just not to the same frequency of one per week, because I definitely need to take a bit of a break. And it saddens me because I just love making these videos every week, but I think after I come back from my break, I'll have more motivation and it'll just be good overall. And I will see you in the next one with lots more books, lots more things to talk about, and I am just so excited to share more videos with you guys after my break. All right, and with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.